Welcome everyone to another episode of Can We Talk About Your WordPress Projects? Today we're going to talk with Cliff Almeida about web audits. He is the quintessential expert on web audits and has a product called My Web Audits. He's going to give us some guidance on whether web audits can really be used as a lead generator or not. Welcome, Cliff. If you would give everybody a little overview of who you are, and then we'll get started asking some questions.
Awesome. Beth, pleasure to be here. Everyone, thanks for joining in and listening. So again, my name is Cliff Almeida, based out of Phoenix, Arizona. I've been running an agency for a little over a decade. I've been building websites for money for over 2 decades. I am also the founder of My Web Audit. In essence, it's a software platform that helps agency owners or freelancers just like you close more deals as well as generate more leads by leveraging website audits, SEO audits, and a whole bunch of other different audits in the sales and lead generation cycle. Our system is positioned so reports can be used in a way that the business owner or your target audience looks at it and says, great, I can see what you can offer me. I understand the problems versus all the other tools out there that are positioned for people like us, right? We can use it to figure out what needs to be done and then ultimately offer that service and deliver better results for our clients.
Well, you just answered my first question, which was going to be, tell me exactly what My Web Audit does. And feel free to go into some more detail. Hey, listen, if you're watching in the Facebook group and you want to comment and you want me to see who it is that comment, you have to give StreamYard permission. You can do that at the very top of the screen. But if you would just type in the chat where you're watching from or hello or something so I know you're there. If you're watching the replay, just type replay. That way I know that people actually did circle back around and watch this later. I met Cliff at the Recurring Revenue Retreat in the latter part of 2019. Ever since then, I've been completely fascinated with web audits and how you can use that as a potential lead generator and potential recurring revenue. I haven't personally delved into this as much as I had intended to the first time I ever heard Cliff talk, but I had other things that took a little bit higher priority. But now I'm really interested in this. My students are really interested in, especially the new technical stuff. That's the technical term, technical stuff like Core Web Vitals and things that are coming along that really shine a light on holes that might be in our clients' current websites or websites we may have created in the past before we knew these things or before these things came along. So Cliff, tell me, before we get into the more specific questions about web audits, I get the sense there's 2 kinds of web audits, right? There's a technical web audit that says, okay, you've got broken links, you don't have a privacy policy, your site doesn't have an SSL certificate, all of those things we know clients need to adhere to. Then there's the web audit that has to do more with marketing, right?
Yep.
Like you don't have the proper calls to action. It's not clear what the whole story brand thing. Like I come to your website, I have no clue what you do, that sort of thing. Is that true? There are 2 kinds?
They definitely are. One thing I want to share real quick, Beth, it's going to be, in essence, the foundation to almost every answer I give back to a lot of the questions. And I just want to make sure the audience has context. I share this not to brag, but just so you understand where I'm coming from. I started out selling $400 websites, and I have sold 6-figure websites. I've closed millions of dollars in our agency. Here's the biggest thing, whether you're starting your freelance business or you've been working in your agency or web agency for a decade or so, oftentimes I see that when someone's looking for lead generation specifically, they are missing a specific audience. They're trying to talk to everybody. When you have an ideal audience, you actually know what their pain points are or their desired outcomes. For example, a plumber may just want to make sure people keep calling him. When you're working with, for example, a lawyer, they don't care just about the calls they're getting in. They're looking for higher end retainers. If you're looking at a home remodeler, their structure and problems are going to be different from someone who does DIY or simple handyman work. So making sure you know your audience, then identifying the desired outcomes or pain points is big. Then crafting an offer. So we talked a little bit about SSL missing or page speed problems, right? At the end of the day, most business owners don't care about that. They care about a desired outcome, which may be, I want my phone to ring, or if you're e-commerce, I want more sales. Being able to position an offer they can connect and resonate with is really important. Lastly, because everybody says they can do something on the internet today, you need to be able to show them you've done something similar for at least one or two other people. Once you have those in place, there's a dozen different ways you can use audits to generate leads without any problem. The second part of your question was, there's technical type of audits and there's the website audits. We've grown our business successfully and doubled over the last 3 to 4 years because of the latter part of what you talked about, which is ensuring there's proper messaging, call to actions, it's conversion optimized, etc. The big thing anybody on this call needs to know, whether you're dealing with a startup business, a mom and pop, or 7 or 8 figure business, is that when you speak to them, whether that's through your lead generation messaging or through your sales, you have to understand when they say things like, I need a website, or you think they need a website, you need to talk deeper into their desired outcome. You need to be able to show versus tell. This is where audits come in. You don't need to just tell them you're missing an SSL, or when you talk about core vitals, which everyone's talking about, what does that actually mean to their user experience or the page speed and their ranking? Speak about the value. Lastly is a vision. At the end of the day, any business you're speaking to, they're going to want to have a vision of a better tomorrow, and it's your job to showcase that to them. And I'll just add this part of my V4 sales framework. The last V is whenever you're talking to a lead or you're talking to a customer, remember, if they want to work with you, they may not have enough money to get into your core offering. What does that mean? Hey, Cliff, well, we don't have $20,000 right now to work on the e-commerce site, but this audit you showed us, we'd really want to address some of those things. I could tell them, well, look, for about $4,000, we could do that. Then we could bring you onto a website care plan or a retainer. Over the next 6 months, address the other parts. Ensure you have a foot in the door structure, whether it's with your lead generation or your sales calls, where you don't just say, nope, I don't want to work with them, because today I got off a call with a client that I signed in 2013. And I mentioned this at the recurring revenue retreat, where I started with a $3,500 website. They had paid $700 for theirs. So back in 2013, for me, $3,500 was a good place. While they now pay us a $6,000 a month retainer. The difference along the way hasn't been too much, other than we've learned what their pain points are. We've learned how to market them and help grow their business through SEO, web design, CRO, and all those things. Whether you use our system or another, don't go into the details. Focus on results and show versus tell how you can solve those results. That's it. That would be the key of what I wanted to share there. So whether that's the technical side, Beth, of the page speed or SSL, or the marketing side, which is the messaging, USP, call to actions, they both come together. But at the end of the day, they only come together to deliver better results for your audience, which is your customers.
Right. So, see, it was my thought. Let me give you a scenario. Okay, the bakery down the street, I go in there all the time. I buy muffins, but I'm on their website and I notice they don't have a privacy policy, or their site is really slow. I might want to use a tool to assess their technical issues. So the next time I'm in there, I can say, hey, I've noticed there's some issues with your website that might be causing a higher bounce rate. Just kind of an offhand comment. And if you need any help with that, let me know. That's how I was looking at the technical side, being a lead generator. Not that that would be the only thing you would do for that client. That's what gets your foot in the door, because it's an immediate problem. They might not even know they have an immediate problem from keeping customers on the website. They might think they have plenty of business, and they could really get twice as much if they would change their call to action or something like that. So how does your tool help me with let's talk just the technical part first. What does your tool do in terms of helping me with a technical web audit? What does it tell me?
Yeah, we have multiple audits. We have an audit with a WordPress add-on. If you work with WordPress, we have a specific page speed add-on that gives you scores from Google and GT metrics, and also now includes all the core vital information as well, all in minutes. And it looks great and it positions it. Let's just run through the scenario you are working with. So if I were to do that, what I would do is I'd say, hi, Jane, Are you the business owner? Yes or no. If it is the business owner, I'd be like, I love your food, right? Love your pastries. I know you're struggling. What I want to do is take a few minutes and analyze your site and showcase to you a few challenges I've seen other small businesses have that we've helped address that gets better results. I'm not looking to sell you anything, just position value. Come in, use any tool you want, but I would reach out to Jane to say, let's talk about paid speed, since you use that as an example. I'd say, hey, Jane, I ran your site through a tool, and you can even point them to paid speed. I'm all about adding value, not selling. You could throw this into Google and see it. Your page speed is at 5.5 seconds. Did you know that 4 out of 10 people leave a site after 3.5 seconds? That means most of the people visiting your site probably aren't even staying long enough. They're jumping back out and going to someone else's site. What would it look like if you could connect with 30 or 40% more people just by solving that problem? What would that mean to your business? They may not know, but that's how I would position it. If it was a small business, I wouldn't even touch the website. I would start with the GMB, but I get where you're going. With our website, we have dozens of points around technical stuff. Yesterday, someone shared a problem. They took on a WordPress site. They had security vulnerabilities. They didn't spend time looking at the plugins and all that type of stuff. If you had access to the website, we have a technical assessment that analyzes dozens of different things, can show you vulnerabilities quickly, show you the plugins, what are commercial, what are outdated in a matter of minutes. In the scenario you're talking about for lead generation, my strategy would not be to do a report. It would be, hey, Jane, look, I want to add value. Here's a video. Here's 3 or 4 things. If you'd like to jump on a strategy call, I could talk to you a little bit more. If it's a business, I would speak about more visibility and more foot traffic or more calls if it's a service-based business. And just tie 2 or 3 points to it. Present that strategy call. No fluff, high value is what I always say. That call is when I cover my report, because at the end of the day, a good business owner is going to be like, my web person hasn't thought of those things or hasn't spoke to me about those things, or I'm the web person and I can't figure that crap out. I really want someone who understands it, because I want better results. I want a better vision of my business, which is what you're sharing with me. I want that. So I'm going to invest in your services.
I should have stopped you when you said it, because you said something that was really good. And I thought that's a really good way to position it. Gosh, I wish I could remember exactly what you said. Okay, so even an SSL certificate, your site's insecure. Everybody knows now what that lock means. And if they come to your website, you want them to fill out an order form and they don't see that lock, they're not going to fill it out. You're going to lose customers. I like how you said limit it to 1 or 2 things. Don't give them the big giant picture. I have not done a formal web audit. I did an informal web audit with this new client I just took on. They don't have a privacy policy. They don't have any terms and conditions on their site. They've got a lot of broken links. I did address those in the proposal as part of the solution. If you don't have a privacy policy, especially if you're switching to e-commerce, you're definitely going to put yourself at risk.
If you're doing Facebook ads and driving traffic to your e-commerce site, you are required to keep a privacy policy in there and a terms and conditions. And here's a quick thing, and you have to walk in the shoes of your target audience. Think about it this way. I own a business. I don't go search my business and go to the website. I go to my website if I'm checking it out. But what happens in Google if you search the bakery name and you click on it and there's no SSL? Google will actually show you a warning. This site is not safe. That's what you want to show the business owner, because if you tell the business owner that there's no lock, they're not going to understand what that means. But if you show them this is not safe from Google, they're like, holy crap. And I can solve that problem for you this week. That's an easy way to build trust and have a quick win. I'm a big believer in quick wins, because once you get your foot in the door, rarely will a business say, oh, I don't want to work with you anymore. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You made a really good point that we tend to look at what a website audit tool produces in terms of reports or data as to what we need. I never ask a client, what websites do you like? What websites do you not like? I don't care, because I want to know what the business requirements are. What is the marketing? So when you said clients don't care about core web vitals, they don't care if what's that CLI thing they stand for, or no, CLS when it shifts.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's annoying. And some of the bigger giant magazine sites, it happens all over the place, but they don't care because they don't have to care. They've got enough money. The ads make it shift all around and it's a pain in the neck. but the average customer really doesn't care about that, do they?
No, they don't. That's why when we speak about, and every month we reach out to our customer base, when we're talking about core vitals, we're positioning it as Google is now accepting or positioning, they already have a standard, which is what this is. And look, you could go to Lighthouse, you could do all of these things, you can see your scores, but what does it really what really matters to you is if you have poor scores, that means your user experience, your page speed and optimization is a problem. That's going to impact your SEO and visitor experience when they're on your site. We want to address it. We can take care of some of this as part of your care plan. When we speak to them, it's about here's why it's impacting your user experience, your page speed is not really what we talk about. We talk about it impacting user experience conversion and their SEO, because that's what matters to them. Like, I don't want to have less people coming. I don't want my page ranks dropping. I don't want our conversion of our e-commerce sites to drop because things are slow. So we speak on that.
Well, you just wiped out about 7 of my questions. That's okay, because this is fascinating. So you could use a web audit as a way to provide a quick win, get your foot in the door. If your business model in your agency is basically just providing care plans for people that might have broken websites, a web audit could be a lead generator for that type of business model for sure. It's broken. Your last guy didn't know what he was doing. I can fix that for you this week.
Yep.
I think that's a great way to use it. Okay, we've got a couple of questions in the chat. Alex says, since using My Web Audit, I've noticed that our agency doesn't do SEO or marketing, but more of custom development, maintenance plans, and building SMB websites. What does that mean? Do you know?
Small, medium business website.
Oh, small, medium business.
Sure.
What's your advice, since there is a lot of My Web Audit that focuses on marketing?
Yep. All right, great. So let's start with completely eliminating the SEO and marketing stuff, and we'll talk about development. I would be leveraging it to do more technical stuff. That's where I'd speak to them. And I'd say all your clients that are on care plans with you, run the WP audit. You're going to find a whole bunch of issues with page performance, security stuff. I know you guys have a lot of customers, Alex, but if you are truly helping a business owner, y'all have to be considering some on-page SEO. You have to be considering basic things like schema and call to actions and all that type of stuff, because you're serving your customer. I'm coming just from my perspective of how we have a 95% retention over 10 years with our customers, how we increase customer lifetime value from care plans. Our care plan started $179. That equates to about $2,300. Our annual lifetime value of those customers is about $5,400. And it's because we constantly promote that, right? We do a lot of dev work. Then that might be you ensuring that you're talking about 1 to 1.5 second page load times. We have clients that pay us $8,000 to $10,000 to do that. If your clients aren't willing to pay that, then you're going to have to find some sort of common ground on what their problems are. But let me just tell you this, Alex, and this goes to everybody. If I dropped off some of the tastiest high calorie cookies at Beth's house today, Beth's probably going to be, that's really nice at Cliff, but I'm not going to consume it, because that's not what she wants or needs at this point, because she's on this amazing health journey right now, right? I say that because oftentimes we're trying to diagnose clients' needs or prospects' needs without truly knowing what they want. When someone says, I need a better website, they may just mean I need it to look more professional. I don't want it to be hacked, or it has been hacked and I need the porn stuff removed from it. Or it could be I needed to get better results. But you cannot provide visibility to a client's problems and sell them something they don't need or they don't even know they need. So what I would say to you, Alex, is reach out to send a personalized templated email. Hey, X, we've enjoyed working with X company, like ABC company. These are the top 3 problems our clients seem to have. Which one of these is your most challenging problem in your business today? Or if it's none of these, which one is it and how do you think we can help? Or just let us know which one it is and I'll get back to you with a personalized structure on how we can help. Because Alex, dude, I'm just going to call you out. I told you a couple of different ways. You can bring me on as a consultant. I'll add $100,000 in a quarter to your business. I just want 10%. And I'll get it for you, dude, because we talked about your clients. I know how many y'all have and the services you offer. So I'm just telling you, that's what I do.
You can almost look at finding a technical issue on a potential client's website and bringing it to their attention as an icebreaker.
Yes.
It's an icebreaker. So that's how you can get to know your client. Paul has a question. He wants to know, where does the Google page show up to say the site is not safe if there's no SSL certificate? I only see it with the padlock in the browser. Because there for a while, if you went to a site that didn't have SSL, I mean, it was big red letters that came up and said, warning. Now, I don't see that it happen very often at all, every once in a while. But for the most part, you just don't see the lock.
Got it. Hey, Paul, that's what my assumption was too last week. I don't know if it's my security then on my browser, on my computer, but I thought it was the browser that said, do you want to continue on? So maybe that's not the case. If I were to reach out to an existing customer or to a prospect, I wouldn't just speak on SSL. I would look at it. Think about it. Simple framework, Paul. If you're reaching out to nonprofits, talk about how a lack of SSL doesn't show professionalism as a trust factor that you're missing, both for your visitors as well as your audience. Especially if they have a donation form, they can forget about it. Then their search engine visibility is going to be impacted because Google clearly states that SSL is a trust signal for SEO. If I were to reach out to a nonprofit, I would say, I'm sure with your nonprofit, you care about building trust and professionalism for your organization. You probably want to get found. Here's 3 things that are impacting that. SSL would be one of them. Reach out to me if you'd like me to explain that to you on a call, and I could cover a dozen more things that can help you get more visibility and brand awareness. If it's a for-profit, then I would again speak on the SSL building trust and awareness, it being a credibility factor that's impacting the SEO. I would probably add some other point outside of SSL. It may be something like, I realized you don't even have a GMB listing. How crazy is that in 2021? Or in the responsive side, I would say, did you know over 50% of all traffic to websites, in most cases now B2B, B2C customers, is mobile? And I realized your site is not responsive. What does that mean? It means it's a poor user experience if someone visits your website on their phone. They'll probably leave and go to your competition. In fact, Google probably won't even show it to people on Google because they don't want people to have a poor experience. And do that with a video. Use Loom, Vidyard. God knows AppSumo has a million of these coming out every other day. Just pick up one of those. Keep it 3 minutes. Do what Beth alluded to. Here's why I'm reaching out, not to sell you on services. Lead with value. I'm local in the area, love your bakery, or love coming into your shop, or we've used you as a plumbing service, whatever it may be, or I'm just adding value to local businesses. Here's a couple of things. And if you want to reach back out, great. If not, no worries. And by the way, if they click and they watch that video, drop them a quick email saying, I know it's a little weird, but our tools told us you watched our video and wanted to see if you had any questions. That's it, not salesy.
See, I think that's brilliant using that video, because you can know if they even looked at if you go in and hand them a trifold piece of paper with a report on it and say, I did this web audit for you, it's probably going right in file 13. But if you send them a video, just the curiosity of what's in this video might make them watch it. I just had another idea. There's some people that specialize in rescuing broken websites. I don't mean hacked websites that have been left alone for so long, they're just a mess. If you seriously do not want to work with people with messed up websites, a web audit as a tool would be a good way to go, oh no, that has got way too many issues. I am not going down that path. So it could be a way to weed out customers, yes?
Most definitely.
That never occurred to me until just now.
You want to find authentic ways to reach out. It could be every single one of us, at least in the US, get brochures that come our way with ads. So it could be, I got one of your things. I thought your product was interesting. Your service was interesting. When do your website found this problem? They're like, oh crap, I'm actually spending money with this print campaign and it's screwed up. Another way is you find out through your BBB or other local organizations, a few companies have got awards because of XYZ. Hey, congratulations. I wanted to celebrate your win. I just wanted to let you know, if people like me clicked on that press release from the BBB, they're probably finding these problems. You may want to address that. So you're adding value there, you know what I mean? Versus the, oh, hey, I'm just a web agency looking to see if you need web design or SEO, here's your problems. You want to build authentic conversations. We can dig into Paul's and weed it out type of stuff. He just commented on this.
Yeah, I just put that up. Paul is our resident jokester. Yeah, he was making a joke. Weed them out or charge them a premium to resurrect the website. I get that.
Yeah.
We've talked about technical audits, and yours isn't the only tool out there that will do a technical audit. For me, it gets confusing because there's this tool who does these few things, and there's this other tool. I mean, just figuring out what all the tools you need to do a full technical web audit is crazy. But My Web Audit does almost all of it, right?
It does. You can go to My Web Audit, go to features, because you can figure that out really quickly. Everything from page speed optimization to minification to SSL checks, redirects, all of that. That's all on our website. So if you go to mywebaudit.com, go to features, you can go view all our reports and audit points in them. There's 100 plus, depending on which audit you're looking for.
I just looked at that offer you have inside the course. So even those of you who have not signed up for the premium membership, you're getting ready to get a bonus because Cliff has a link. Does that say 50% off?
It does. Yeah, 50% off for 3 months on any plan. They'll never see that anywhere else on our site.
We've talked about technical audits, and most everybody knows you got to check for broken links. You got to check for technical things. How does My Web Audit tool help me audit a site for marketing issues? What does it look for, and how does it give me a report for that?
Yeah, great question, Beth. We are the only platform in existence that I know of that analyzes both manual and automated checks. So we've built an in-app user experience as well as an extension where you can go to a website, and on the right-hand side will be our extension with points, things like, do they have a phone number? Do they have call to actions? Are they using a USP, unique selling point? For those of you just getting started, or those of you that are maybe 5+ years into this business, we've spent hundreds of hours, and we've been through Conversion Excel and all the other high-end training programs. We've built a checklist of all the things you need to know around conversion rate optimization. In simple terms, what do you need to put into the elements of a website to build more trust and establish them as the authority so they get more leads, whether that's someone picking up the phone or filling out a form. That's the conversion rate optimization part. We've also identified things like user experience, things like, is the menu, too complicated? Is there a hero image? Color contrast, all of that stuff we've gone through. And we're 20,000 hours in, just in case anyone's here is like, oh, is this one more of those tools? We've been in business for almost 4 years and we're 20,000 hours in. We've built this tool. So if you're looking to launch a site, we have a few agencies who don't just use it in their agency. They use it as a launch checklist because there's all kinds of things that are important there. They use it in discovery to run some things, and they position it in discovery. The client's like, oh, well, no one spoke to me about that. All they've done is ran through our elements. And instead of telling them they have a crappy website, which really no one likes to hear, they know it, but they don't want to hear it. You really want to say, look, when you work with me, the difference is we take care of X, Y, Z. And that's when the light bulb moment comes in, because they're like, wait, no one's talked to us about ensuring that we put our reviews up above the fold, because we know that people don't scroll to the bottom 1/3, which, by the way, there's going to be one person on this call that has their testimonials in the bottom 1/3 of your site. Less than 1/3 of the people will ever read that. Take it and move it above the folder right there. That's the stuff we've put in place. All you do is point and click. If you don't even know what it means, we have tooltips. You don't want to include it because you feel that that's not your safe zone, you can remove it. And so our website audits cover conversion rate optimization, user experience, page speed, security, and on-page SEO. There's no system out there that does both the automated as well as the combined manual stuff. What's really cool is it's point and click, meaning you can generate a 20 or 30 page report in a matter of 5 minutes by just going point, click, point, click, point, click, and you now have a roadmap to success. That's the best part. Follow this and you will get better results for your customers. And you can then charge more on value because you're delivering more value.
So tell me why you decided to productize, why you decided on this particular thing. Well, probably because nobody else was doing it. But what was the biggest challenge of doing that while you were still running your agency?
A really good question. We decided to productize because we had a problem and we needed to solve it. What was our problem? It was taking us too many hours to run through multiple tools, take what we wanted, position it in a way that made sense and looked good. It cost us a lot of time and money. So we systemized it enough we could productize it. because in order to productize, you have to have a system in place you can do manually. And we productized and automated as much as we could. We used it and we're like, this is working really good. We reached out to some agency friends. They were like, we love it. And then happily ever after. Now, if you aren't in a place where your business doesn't have systems, I would seriously consider not taking that path, only because without systems, it's going to be hard for you to systemize everything, implement, evaluate, optimize, automate, then do the marketing and build everything up. So what does it look like to productize services in your agency? Here's a couple of very simple productized services. We do search engine optimization. I use our website Audit. Someone comes to me and say, Cliff, we need SEO. I'll tell them, do you have $2,500 a month for competitive SEO, or at least $800 for some citations, GMB optimization, and some on-page? If they say $800, I'll tell them for $1,000, we'll do an on-page SEO analysis of your site, and we'll cover, in essence, 5 pages. We'll tell you, or your top 10 pages even, because our app allows up to 10 with keywords, then gives us a report. We tell them for $1,000, we'll optimize any 4 of those. Usually it's the homepage, their service pages. That usually covers those top 4. That's a simple productized offering where we use the audits. Another one is page speed. Any company that is ranked between positions 3 to 6 on Google, and they reach out to us and we find keywords and they have poor page speed, we'll do the page speed audit and cover their top 10 pages and say, for $1,000, we can get you to this point with your page speed. That becomes a productized service, and we bring them into a care plan. Our care plan is the next follow-up, and sooner or later, we try to sell them into our core service, which is full redesign and marketing. On-page SEO is an easy productized service offering, not SEO with backlinking and content creation. On-page optimization, our system gives you a full map of what to do. Page speed, a full map of what to do. Conversion rate optimization, if anyone does e-commerce here, we have a beautiful e-commerce audit. We charge $2,000 for that, and then we give the consultation, but you can use our system. It gives you a full map from homepage to post checkout. What do you optimize on the confirmation page? It's a checklist. Bring some of those to a discovery meeting or strategy calls and upsell your services into a retainer. Those are some productized systems. Oh, GMB. Everybody should be doing GMB in your business. It takes an hour to optimize or less. We charge $499 for the audit and optimization, or $199 for the audit. Those are some really simple productized service offerings. If you are not the person who wants to do a whole bunch of custom dev, you don't have a designer, leverage your strengths, find a VA who can do some of this stuff for you. You can record your screen. These are the key things to do. Build your playbook and delegate. What would it look like for those of you that are just getting started to have 2 SEO or 1 SEO productized service, 1 page speed, and maybe 2 GMB? Those are easy to sell. And that could be $3,000 you bring in. You can put someone onto a retainer, like a care plan or something like that.
Yeah, see, now I'm getting just as excited as I did when I heard you speak at the recurring revenue retreat. These are such good ideas for the, I don't want to say the little guy, but that guy that's struggling on, I don't know what my strengths are. I know how to do all this technical stuff, but how do I sell that? I'm not a programmer. I don't want to build websites, but I know how to do all this other stuff. This is a great way to productize those services. Okay, we're getting close to the hour. I want to make sure I ask this question. How can web audits be a recurring revenue generator?
The simplest one would be use website audits to, there's a couple of ways. The first one for leads, it's going to be, hey, build trust, show versus tell, so you can get them in, put them onto a retainer. I have 2 blogs your audience should definitely check out. The first one is how to use website audits to do quarterly and annual assessments. What we're doing is analyzing everything through an audit, telling them you need to pay X amount and invest in this to solve these problems, or we need to use your retainer hours or increase your retainer hours. That's how we use audits. We're able to constantly show them it's a journey. We start with onboarding. We tell people when we build your website or we work with you, your business is growing incrementally. If we grow you to 1 million, you're not going to be, that's it, Cliff, right? We're good. You're going to want to grow to 2. Just like that, the website journey is a journey. It's not like you're one and done. We use these audits to constantly showcase areas of opportunity to gain a competitive edge. When you talk about people speaking technical, our audits, and by the way, go to our website, go to templates and look at all our copy. You're welcome to get inspired even if you don't use us. When you look at Paid speed optimization, all our emails, templates, and even our reports are positioned in selling the result and less about technical stuff. If you do the technical stuff, just don't cover that with them because you don't want their eyes to gloss over and lose attention. You just want to be able to say, what would it look like to have 30% less people leave? What would it look like to gain a few points in Google, meaning you were at 10? What would it look like to move to 8 by doing a few of the things we offer?
Excellent. Yeah. And Melanie's my helper. She put the link in the chat for your blog, the Agency Guide to Quarterly or Annual Client Revenues. She put the other one in there too, how to optimize Google My Business for your agency clients. I was getting ready to ask you about Google My Business. Does your tool analyze the GMB listing? And you answered it before I got a chance to ask it. Yeah, this is great. I think one of the biggest takeaways from today is stop thinking about a web audit for what you need it to do and start thinking about what a web audit does for your client.
That's right.
In terms of helping them meet their business objectives. We're singing from the same song sheet because I tell my folks all the time, focus on the business requirements, focus on the result. I could care less what color blue we're going to use on the website on day one. We'll talk about branding later. Right now, we just want to talk about what are the business objectives of the website. And this is a good way to get your foot in the door to do that. I know how super busy you are, and I really appreciate you taking this time out to talk to my folks. Cliff is open to talk to you if you have questions. Just touch base with me first and I'll hook you up with him. And those links to his blogs and the special offer are in the chat. So you don't have a course, but if I learn to use your tool, aren't the materials you have available to teach me to use your tool also teaching me what I need to know about web audits?
They are completely. Our application does have a huge training resource section. We have everything from how John Falk used, John is more on the technical side and he's grown his agency. He helped share a full 45-minute training on how he closed $40,000 over 6 months and shared his whole pipeline on how he got people from different sources and templates. We have a whole bunch of emails, documents, and guides on all kinds of stuff related to optimization, selling, retainers.
Paul says he's sold. He's going to be signing up. Paul is one of our seasoned folks here in the group. Awesome. Oh, the link to the discount for tools. Okay, I'll put in the chat again. That's what they were asking for, not the course, but the link to the discount, because Cliff is so generous.
Please don't share it outside of this group. We try to keep these within the groups because that becomes added value for Beth and her community. Anyone who does use it, thank you. We'd love to have you on if you have questions. We offer a free trial. We love making sure our tool is the solution for the people that use it. We have a free trial. Check that out. We have that screaming offer, but do not share it outside of Beth's group.
Yeah, don't do that. I won't put it on my public page then. This video will be out there. So to get the thing, they're going to have to come inside my group. Once again, Cliff, thank you. Everyone, we will continue this conversation about web audits on Friday in our Friday chat. On Fridays, Cliff, we have the GoWP Happiness Hour. We follow up on Fridays where everybody gets together and talks. That may generate more questions we may have to send your way. So that's
very cool. And then drop me a note on when that is. And if I have a chance, I might just jump in.
Okay, that'd be great. That'd be super helpful. I know people have a lot of questions. That's on Fridays at 11 a.m. I'll shoot you a Facebook message and as a reminder. And then if you can join us, great. If not, I totally understand.
Cool.
Okay, thanks everybody. Remember to always stay productive, stay strong, and never stop learning. And I will see you on Friday. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.